everyone and welcome back to my true crime channel. I hope you're all well. Overnight there has been a huge bombshell about Summer Wells's father, Don Wells. So I highly recommend that you all go over and check out the J is for Justice podcast. It's a YouTube channel. The host is fantastic. I highly recommend that you go and check out the channel. They've released a live video, obviously a video they did live that they've now uploaded, where apparently someone, a member of the public, has been speaking to Don Wells on Facebook Messenger, and Don claims that he has borrowed $50,000 from a Mexican drug cartel. Apparently, and I have to say apparently because obviously I haven't got evidence that it's true. Obviously I believe it's true, but I just have to caveat that, guys. A member of the public apparently has been speaking with Don Wells. We've only been able to see part of the conversation because the person wants to remain anonymous. But what we do know is that they asked Don if, he knows what's happened to his daughter, if he knows where she is. He says no, but that he's pretty much waiting. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but with a weapon to potentially finish off whoever's took his daughter. So that was quite interesting. I'm not going to read word for word what was said because I'd prefer that you went across to this other creator's channel to check it out for yourself. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, guys, because let's face it, Don Wells is constantly doing dodgy things. Every other day, something weird comes out about Don Wells. Why I was surprised by this news last night, I don't know. Because let's face it, we all know that red flags are always flying for Don Wells. So the claims are, apparently, that Don had to borrow $50,000, allegedly, from someone, and shockingly, a Mexican drug cartel. If that's true, that's really weird. I wouldn't be surprised if it is true, guys, because Don has mentioned in more than one interview the Mexican border and, drugs and children going missing. And in an interview that this channel, J is for Justice, has previously done with Don, he mentions the Mexican border, how easy it was for him to get in Mexico or into Mexico. When I heard it initially, I thought it was weird. And I was thinking, why does he keep talking about Mexico? Something's weird about Mexico. Couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I knew it had some relevance because he wouldn't have kept mentioning it. So he clearly, in my opinion, potentially travels to Mexico occasionally. And when he has been on a recent visit, he wasn't checked by the authorities entering the country, which, if true, is quite shocking, especially with terrorism and all sorts of things that go on. But the fact that he mentioned Mexico makes you wonder, was he talking about the time that he goes there to borrow this money? Did he have to drive to Mexico to borrow the money? What was the money for? Apparently this loan was made, or this money he borrowed before his daughter went missing, at some point towards the end of last year. So what was the money for? Apparently the car is bought not long after the money is borrowed. We all know that they're paying about $600 a month, which is quite a lot of money for the car. So the car wasn't bought outright with cash, but have they got enough cash left over from the $50,000 loan to pay the $600 a month? Don works quite a lot of hours, so perhaps he can afford the car. So what was interesting is this person also allegedly claims that Don has paid back part of that money. He's paid back $30,000 apparently, and he still owes $20,000. Now it does make you wonder what normal person needs to borrow $50,000. Some people make home improvements, some people are setting up a business. Well, we don't know anything like that for Don Wells. Could it be that there's something more sinister going on? I know this was pre-Summer going missing, so it's probably got nothing to do with her. But why on earth was Don Wells borrowing money from a cartel? Well dodgy. I was really interested to listen to the J for Justice podcast. There was a lot of information there that was of interest to me. I find this news on Don very suspicious, very dodgy. As always, it's yet another red flag for Don. Why does he borrow money from drug barons, Mexican drug cartels? They're the most dodgy people. You really wouldn't want to have to deal with them unless you really had to. And why in the first place is he in dealings with them? So going back to what Don said when he first got home on the day that his daughter vanished, he went straight to the end of the property, to the shed. He said he saw the boys searching. Whether that's true, I don't know, and that neighbours were searching. And then around that time, he drives off the property to go and speak to the local dealers. I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, to ask if they know anything about Summer. Normally, most normal people, whether you do drugs in your spare time or not, in your life, whether you have drugs in your life and you take drugs, if your daughter goes missing, I would imagine you probably wouldn't, even if you are a drug user, nip off to the local dealers to have a chat about whether they know anything about your daughter. I found that highly suspicious. So now we know that potentially, apparently, allegedly, just caveating that Don borrows money off people like cartels. I mean, my God, shocking. Is that a reason why he'd want to speak to these local dealers on the day his daughter goes missing? Is he in cahoots with local dealers? Obviously, I don't know that he is, but we do know there has been drug abuse and alcohol abuse within the family. It does make you wonder just how Don knows these people and why he's dealing with them, and even more bizarre, why he's borrowing such huge sums of money from them. So it's very interesting to know that this money apparently was borrowed around the time that this Jose guy, or Jose, I think you pronounce it Jose, just want to make sure I get that right. This strange character that apparently grandma drove off the property and took him somewhere miles away. Seems a bit weird that this money was borrowed apparently, allegedly, around the time that this man is staying at the house or kicked out the house. Whatever went on, Don thought Candace was cheating and she wasn't. Apparently the guy's gay, according to Candace. So all of that whole story about this man was very weird, and if the money was borrowed around the time that he's found in the house, has it got anything to do with him? Makes me wonder. Obviously I don't know, but I'm now getting to think, God, has that got anything to do with that? So something else of interest, Don used to live in Utah, and Utah is not that far away from the Mexican border. So it could be that because he used to live near to the Mexican border, it was somewhere that he visited on a regular basis. But, you could put a link with that perhaps he has links in Mexico because he used to live reasonably near there. But, I don't think all Americans have links with Mexico, especially not with the sort of characters that Don has been borrowing money off. So apparently there were messages exchanged between this mystery woman and Don Wells, allegedly, apparently, and the messages stopped and they went into a phone call, which some other things were discussed during the phone call. Apparently drugs were discussed. Don't know whether that's true. Obviously, I don't even know if any of this is true. I believe it is. Don Wells does seem to like talking to members of the public. He would have thought he would have stopped after the 17-year-old girl, apparently. This seems to be a different woman that he's been having phone calls with. I mean, God, he should learn from his previous mistakes. Don't speak out to the members of the public. Some of them, aren't who you think they are. Keep your opinions to yourself. I know we all want to hear from him, but you really should stop speaking to people, stop speaking to YouTube channels, stop speaking to members of the public that send him Facebook messages. Because let's face it, most of the people that are trying to contact him, especially the ones that are via Facebook, not YouTube creators, I just mean members of the public, might not have good intentions. I know we all suspect they're involved here, guys, but you would have thought he'd have half a brain to think, I really shouldn't deal with these people. I don't know what their intentions are. So the very nice host of the J for Justice podcast has said that the TBI are fully aware of this. Anything that this channel creator, the host of the channel, has found out, she has passed to the authorities. So the authorities have been made aware of this latest development in case it does have some relevance in Summer's disappearance. And well done to the channel for bringing this out into the public domain, for making us aware of this. I don't know why I'm surprised, that Don Wells has been involved in something like that, if he has, because I have to say if, because I don't know if it's definitely true, but I believe it is. I really don't know why anything that man, Don Wells, does surprises me anymore. I am still surprised by things like this. The level of people that came out with the abuse allegations I didn't find surprising. And again, I just have to say they're allegations, guys, because, I can't say they're definitely true. I believe they are. But that should have been enough to think, no more am I going to be surprised by Don Wells. But yet, weirdly, I am. So I do believe that this J for Justice YouTube channel has spoken to Don on more than one occasion, and the interviews that they've done I have listened to previously, but I'm certainly going to be listening back to them in much more detail. There's quite a few little things there, quite a few red flags from Don about the timeline of the day, the dogs, lots of things raised red flags hearing it again for me. And I thought, wow, I must admit there's so many more interviews with Don than you really remember over the last couple of months, and to try and list them all and listen back to them all is going to take me hours, but I'm definitely going to do it, and I'm going to let you guys know over the next 7 or 10 days all of the red flags that I've found throughout as many interviews that I can share. I'm going to detail all the past tense references, especially from Don, all of the weird things that the pair of them, Candace and Don, have said, but especially Don, because we've heard from him so much more, to show you, look back and think, wow, we should have known from the start. I know not everyone believed that they're involved. I did, but I know not everyone did. We should have known really from the start that there were so many red flags from them parents that potentially they were involved in their daughter's disappearance. So as always, guys, I want to know what you think. Are you shocked by this news, or like me, are you normally not shocked by Don? But I was shocked by this. I thought there were no more things that could shock me about the man, but I have been quite gobsmacked by this news. So I want to know, as always, guys, what do you think? Pop your comments below. Have you heard this before now? Did you listen to last night's show from the J for Justice podcast? If not, head over to the channel. I'm going to put a link in my description so that you can go across. If you haven't, please subscribe to their channel. They're a fantastic channel. They're a channel that I've followed for quite a while now. I really like the host. I think she does a fantastic job. So go across to that channel and get subscribing and get popping her a comment. So give me your theories on this. Why do you think Don borrowed the money? Do you think it's true? Do you think it could be made up that someone on the internet's contacted him via Facebook Messenger and, you know, they haven't got good intentions? But I imagine they do have good intentions. Most people want to help find Summer. Don Wells just keeps dropping himself in the shit. Let's be honest here, guys. He's always dropping himself in it, always contradicting himself. His story changes from one interview to the next. And this latest news on this big loan that he has borrowed money and where he's borrowed money is extremely shocking. Why do you think he's borrowed the money? Do you think it was for something sinister? Do you think this Jose being around the house around the time the money is borrowed has anything to do with it? Do you think buying the expensive car, which I know they have to pay for monthly, but do you think that was something that they treated themselves to from the money? Surely you wouldn't go around borrowing money off people like that, cartels from Mexico. But I just wanted to update you all on this, guys. I knew that it would be of interest to you because it was extremely interesting to me. I think there is some other news regarding the case that's been all around the internet in the last day that I'm going to do another video on. Every day or other day, every 1 to 2 days, there's always another bit of news in this case, which makes it so fascinating to cover, so fascinating for me to follow. I know how much Summer's been taken into your hearts, guys, and we've all got to keep that little girl in our heart and hope that soon she's going to be found safe. Well, as always, guys, I'm going to have more videos on Summer coming out. Like I said, looking back into the past interviews in the next week or 10 days, I hope to have quite a few videos out looking back into them past interviews, keeping up with what's going on daily in the case. I will have another video most likely tomorrow and most days this week. I've said in some other videos I am looking to cover some other cases, some cold cases, some other cases of missing people and missing children. Some are from America, some are from the UK, some are from Europe and the rest of the world. So I am going to be covering some other cases, but for now, because I'm so fascinated in Summer's case, I do try my best to get a video out on it every day. I love updating you. I love hearing your thoughts on the case, guys. You've had such interesting feedback with what you think may or may not have happened to Summer, whether you think the parents are or are not involved. I've loved knowing your thoughts, so keep popping those comments below. Keep talking about Summer Wells. Keep Summer Wells in that heart of yours, and keep Summer's case out in the open. Well, as always, I'd love to say a big thank you, and a thumbs up to my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I cannot say how much it means to me. I cannot express it in words. You've said such lovely things to me. Your comments really brighten my day, especially when you're making kind comments about my work and about the research I do and that you like my channel. I can't tell you how much that means. My little channel is about to hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm hoping it might happen this week. That would be fantastic. It seems such a huge milestone for me. I never really thought that the channel would necessarily be successful. I'm so glad that it is. Well, I'm so glad that you all found me. I'm so glad that you've all subscribed to my channel, and I'm so glad that we are now all one part of one big true crime family. Well, as always, guys, I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in this big wide world of ours. I hope you're taking care of one another. I hope you have a great week. And as always, I'll be back with you very soon with another true crime video. Bye for now, everyone.